What's up, everybody? This is Enlightened Masculinity Podcast Show. I'm Yogi Chris, PhD, founder of Ninth Limb Yoga, director of IMC Base One, and also known as Pimpin' Yogi on Instagram. So this is the Red Pill Masculinity Show, a lot of spirituality, a lot of all that stuff. That's what we talk about. If you're here joining, this is the speed dating champion, Shamir Khan, aka Shamir Corleone. He's an IMC Nation monk. And we had a speed dating competition last month. We did 6 of these in a row. So this was the last one, which you could imagine, like, a lot of it was the same girls. It was a rotation of girls. There's probably like 20 girls total throughout the 6 months. But the event only has 10 girls. And there were 14 guys. And there was a rotation. And these are high-level guys. They're not chumps. And Shamir won. So the girls voted on it. And these girls are quality in terms of looks anyway. A lot of them are bartenders, strippers, things like that. Not whores, escorts like that. I mean, the more whorish strippers are not allowed. So they're like, who knows? They're flirting with that edge, obviously. It's that kind of girl, but they're fine. They got a lot of choice with men. They interact with tons of men. They're used to using men. And even in the bartenders or whoever, the waitresses, I mean, they're basically high-class strippers almost. So, or not. Really, they're low-class because they don't even strip. They're like amateur strippers. They're strippers in training, waitresses. So we have Shamir, and that's who we have on the show today. So if you're just tuning into the show, just giving you kind of the idea of what the show's about, what this episode's about. So just leave a review, follow, catch our other episodes with past speed dating championships, and really to go into the greatness of the speed dating competition, which was the last one. It's going to change. The events change. It's really important to kind of put in context who AZD is, what IMC Nation is, what we're doing here with this movement. And it'll be indisputable, undeniable. You won't be able to look the other way without looking like an idiot here coming up soon in the next few years, even shorter, because we're taking to the road, Coach Marin, the Guardians, and, the guys are expanding. They're growing, beyond belief. We've separated so much between us and normal guys. It's just not ordinary anymore. It's not even close. And Shamir won. I was in the competition. And I always justify that those girls are just intimidated by me. They just have it out to get me because I didn't tip them or something. But Shamir beat me officially. So that's pretty awesome. And he introduced himself, of course, as Prince. So when they were like, hey, I'm Julie, what's your name? He was like, Prince. Okay. Speed dating champion Shamir, what's going on with you, man? Also living in San Jose. So this guy moved from Dallas to San Jose like 6 months ago. It's a very similar move that I made, but a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. And he helped, he basically was the force that pushed Base 2 into happening. So he lives with 5 other monks, IMC monks here in San Jose. So without cutting him off anymore, Shamir, what's up?
What's up, brother? What's up? Man, I feel really good.
Oh yeah. We've had you on the show before, so I think that people are probably going to hear a difference in your voice, Recently at the private moment that it was somebody's private moment. It wasn't Pyro's. I think it was Matthew Tropsh's or somebody. And it was very obvious that you were different. And that was right after the speed dating. It was the day after. So I don't know. Do you still feel different? Or did you notice a difference?
Man, I don't know if I ever felt different per se. I could see what everybody was saying as far as like my communication and certainty and whatnot, but internally the feeling is still me, perfecting my communication, my seduction, and all things that come along with that. It's still a grind in my head, if that makes sense.
That's interesting because you won the speed dating competition. So tell us about that. How'd you do that?
I'll tell you what, going into the competition, I didn't know it was a competition. I knew that the Millionaires Clubs prior, they were competitions, but this event, it had a different theme to it. The whole thing was models and bottles, and we were going to get these pictures. I didn't know.
At some point at the beginning, AZD said that there would be a vote.
Yeah, that's when I found out that.
That's when I found out too. I didn't know either. So how did you win?
Man, I mean, if I could just say one thing that this is the reason why I won, I mean.
We'll say 2 or 3 things then.
Right on. Leading up to the event, the weeks and months leading up, AZD had been talking about taking over the pickup industry, right?
Wow. Okay.
That's big.
Well, I didn't realize when I said, how did you win, that you were going to go back 2 or 3 months to that. Oh, but I'll bet you're about to say that you picked up the game and mystery method and started reading again.
Something very similar. I started practicing a lot more.
What does that mean?
As in going out to shopping malls, practicing routines. Any
Oh,
opportunity I had in a grocery store, I didn't pass it up. Like I went to war with any kind of hesitation that I felt inside of me. And a lot of that I give thanks to Marin, going out with him to San Francisco and watching how easily he's just able to walk up to these random girls and pull them pretty much instantly. It's really inspiring to watch when you see that that skill set is available. You know, they say that internal dial, it turns up a bit, you know?
Yeah. And it's a different context because we're in the club, right? Coach Marin was part of the speed dating competition. I was in there. Chris Cruz was in there looking boss. Everybody there was boss looking. I mean, everybody was doing great. The Cervantes brothers, Guerrero was in the mix, and he won it last time. So the returning champion, you know, like these are no chumps. And it's the, you know, there's something to it. I mean, the venue is like a day two. It's more than like an Insta date because you're dressed up, and who picks up in the same outfit that you would be like dressed up in. Like so it's definitely like a second meeting. Like after you picked up a girl or met her, and then she agrees to meet you at a later time at a venue and dress up, and they look fine. These girls looked fine. And so you're saying that 2-3 months ago, you went out with Marin, you saw that, and it inspired the fuck out of you. And so you started practicing routines and game and whatever. And so that's one reason why you won the speed dating event?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to carry that energy into the event. Really, my mindset in the event was just practice, you know? I had some ideas of like, I knew what girls would be there. We've interacted with these girls before. We had seen them at the strip club a couple days prior. So I knew with the kind of game that I wanted to run on some specific girls. And then the other girls, it was just me vibing. I know that there were questions being asked. I forgot about this. There were questions being asked that we had to answer. I really didn't pay any mind to the questions. In the past I had, you know, and I wanted to have the best answer and whatnot. This time I really didn't give a fuck. You know, I told half these girls I'm really drunk. And it just kind of lightened the vibe, and we just had a good time. I wasn't drunk at all, but that's just something I did.
So you didn't talk on the questions for the most part. You just kind of talked as a regular conversation, like otherwise. Maybe not regular. Were you like practicing routines and things then, and just kind of veering off of the questions, just doing your own game?
I implemented routines into it. Say, I mean, we'd be speaking about a question, and then notice something about her, and I'd go into an observation, and that'd bring up a whole conversation. It was a lot of multiple threading. There was a lot of different threads going on in my conversations.
Totally. I could see that where that would work. So I remember when Fernando won, and his strategy was, in hindsight, it's brilliant. And in foresight, I don't think he meant to do it that way, which was basically like, it was a different context on that party too. It was kind of a regular party. Like it was just a mix of people. He didn't really rotate us. And so Fernando talked to just 4 girls, and he just talked deeply with those 4 girls. I tried to talk to every girl. So I split my attention, you know. And then this idea, I could definitely see why that would win. I still agree with how I did it because I got better on those questions when it comes down to it. You know, and those questions were very deep and very stimulating. I don't know if you remember what those questions were, if you didn't work them. Maybe I probably wouldn't know them if I didn't record them and listen to them over again. And so that becomes, you know, good artillery, you know, good ammunition later. You know, when you're stumped, I'm speed dating with these girls, or doing dating apps or whatever with girls, you don't know what to say. It's like, just whip out one of these questions. And, you know, it goes, if it's already to that point, it's going to go in a good direction. So, but you won because, man, I'll bet those girls really felt like they were at school doing homework, doing some homework assignment or something with a guy. Like, okay, what question are we going over this time? Oh, like, who lies more? Oh, are aliens real? And there's Shamir just having a casual, he's actually legitimately going on dates. He's not doing the fucking assignment.
That's really what it felt like. It felt like I was on 5 or 6 just separate dates.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, it's cool because I've had interaction with these girls before. I know what to expect for the most part, as far as their vibe specifically. So I can somewhat tailor my conversation and my routines to them. Right. And I was noticing attraction spikes in a lot of the different girls. Granted, when the
traction spikes, let's describe this. We got to describe that for both the post recording audience, the people who listen later, and even for the people around. I'm very interested in attraction spikes. What are you seeing?
Well, DHV hits, you know.
DHV hits, this fucking jargon. What are we playing, World of Warcraft? What are you seeing?
When you speak in a way that demonstrates to the woman that you have some sort of high value, and you see that it hits her on a genetic level.
Hits
Right.
her on a genetic level. What is this language? Are you punching her? Hold on, my bird is here.
Nice.
So you're gonna learn some game. We're talking game. Yeah. So where's the laundry? You left it in the car? Oh, all right. So DHV, you hit her genetics and she reacts to that. So what are you noticing?
Laughter. A lot of laughter, just big expressions on their part. Now, as I'm thinking back, I got pretty sexual with a couple of the girls throughout the event, but in a playful
Sexual in conversation, not physically sexual.
Correct, yeah.
Because people, I got sexual with the girl. We started dry humping. They're on the fucking chair, the bar
If
stool.
you ever go to these events, don't do that. Don't kiss these girls. All that stuff that's not okay.
That would be dope. I don't know if it's passed in your mind. I was like, man, if I could get one of these girls to do that right here, that would be. But I'll bet AZD would get mad at me for if I could get the girl to do that. I probably shouldn't do that. So.
Yeah, I've had that thought. I mean, I've been in situations where I felt like I could probably kiss this girl if I was isolated, like 100%. But I mean, I wouldn't have taken it there at the party. It's just not the environment, right? But I was noticing attraction for sure, just from my beingness, really. I mean, like, sure, the routines were hitting, but there was a way I was being that was very playful, and somewhat sexual that the girls were gravitating to. Now, granted, when the competition ended, I wasn't like, fuck yeah, I won, like at all, really.
Yeah, I mean, it was like it had to do there were like split votes, and then they had to like do like, let's say 3 guys get 1 vote and 3 guys get it's not going to work out math wise. Let's say 3 guys get 2 votes and 4 guys get 1 vote. All right, so now the 4 guys that got 1 vote are dropped off, and then of the 3 guys, now girls vote for these 3 guys. You can't vote for anybody else, and then so you'll even have a case where girls that didn't even get to interact with you will have to choose like who to vote, and they'll decide based on if they liked how you looked or, you know, if they interacted with you last time or something. So it's not like it's fucking so superficial. Superficial. It's super official. So yeah, I was just interjecting that.
Yeah, right on. I mean, I do remember the moment where AZD said that I won. It didn't hit me, you know, like in that moment, I was just in full surrender mode. Like nothing was really going to affect me. You know, I was so in my practice. That's really what it was. I was really deep in my practice.
What was your practice? What was the practice of the speed dating champion during the speed dating competition?
Surrender experiment, you know, just allowing Michael Singer calls it Shakti, I guess, to the normie ear, that just the energy, right? I'm allowing that to flow consistently, and whatever I have to do internally to make sure that stays flowing. That's really all it was. And I felt that in my body during the event. I was very free in my expression and my movement. And that's something also, hold on, I lost you.
I still hear you.
Yeah, you mentioned Fernando winning a few months back. That event really sticks out in my mind because I saw that freedom in him and the way that he was moving around and the certainty he had in his game. And I remember having a conversation with him about that afterwards. And that I could see witnessing that was a big reason that I was able to do what I did that night.
Witnessing that, what is it that you witnessed exactly?
Man, there's so much certainty in his movement in those environments, you know?
Yeah.
There's no resistances in his mind. I could see that the teachings throughout the years that he's been learning have really implemented themselves into his subconscious, and it just flows out, you know. So I was able to tap into that to some degree, you could say.
Interesting. Well, all right. So let's see. So I was going to ask you some questions. I got my girl here, and so if anybody else has any questions for Shamir, then start to formulate those and think about those. I don't know what I would even ask you. I was going to ask you, so one of the coaches at IMC, he had his girl on last Wednesday, and she was off screen and he was asking her questions. I was like, man, that's a really good idea. I should totally like have my girl off screen, just like ask her some questions, just so you guys get a feel for it. So I don't even know where I'd start. It'd probably start pretty awkward. I'm just going to do like 3-4 minutes, because if it's good, then next Wednesday I'll go deeper into it. So make sure she's off camera. Let's see. So I'll just start. So you moved here to be near me, yes? Yeah. To be with me. Okay. Let's see. You know I'm with other women. Yes or no?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Do you know, do I like report to you about being with other women? I'm going to stump her with some of these questions. She's not prepared. I haven't like coached her or anything.
Only if it's like out of respect towards me, if there's something that you think would make me feel more comfortable or safe, but other than that, in your normal life, like what you do, no.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you trust me?
100%.
Okay. Let's see. Do you belong to me?
1 billion%.
Okay. Did you ask me if you could tattoo my name on your eyebrow?
Yes.
Did I say yes?
Yes.
No, I said no. You just get her on a yes ladder. She just agrees with everything.
No, you said no, but you said that I needed to be more original.
Yes, because I thought you were copying AZD's girlfriend. And I also said you can't get face tattoos until I have face tattoos. That's unreasonable. Yeah, so I said all that. Okay, so let's see. You were around when I had a second girl for over a year. That you guys knew each other. You would talk with each other. You were friends at times. You were around me at the same time. Okay, so you're totally aware of that also.
For sure.
Let's see.
I enjoyed that too.
Yeah, it was good times. Let's see. How do I want to say this? Spiritually, as much as a man can own a woman, do I own you?
Spiritually, I know for a fact that you own me.
Okay, what about psychologically?
Psychologically, I made the choice to allow you to own me that way.
Okay, emotionally, what about physically?
Physically, that's a gift to me.
What's a gift?
that you own me physically.
It's a gift that I own her physically. Okay, let's see. Am I shy about breaking up with you when you misbehave?
You're definitely not shy about that.
Like, do you think I'm serious when I break up with you?
Yes, because it always changes me. And I get better.
Okay, that's probably good for now. And then, you know, so I'll go more into that like in next Wednesday when we do a group call. Okay, because just flexing a little bit, you know, she's a reflection. You wouldn't know my abilities. You still don't know my abilities, but you wouldn't know that unless she was there to say that. It's different if she's not here and I'm just saying that. She knows I own her. She knows that I'm with other women. She knows, like, that's okay. That sounds pretty good, but now you heard her say it. And you'll hear more next because that was just off the top of my head. How was that for you?
I feel really comfortable.
Really comfortable. Good.
Yeah, I feel safe with you always.
Unless you're triggered. Sometimes I trigger you. Yeah, she does good because she won't let me break up with her. She won't let me. So she fixes herself because she just, anyway, we'll talk about that another time. This is the speed dating competition. So thank you. How long have we been together? How long? Okay. So maybe that part. Okay. So how long have you known of me?
So I met you in October of 2018 in a class, but I officially started talking with you in December of 2018, and right away I joined the silent flute when you messaged me.
Okay.
So, yeah, so ever since then, I've been pretty much with you in and out of the silent flute, and together we have been since like April of 2020 that I was obsessed with you, but we got together at the end of 2020.
I don't know if you guys heard all of that. So October 2018, she was in my buddy's real estate class and, you know, doing that whole thing. I came on as a guest speaker. She saw me, got in communication. 3 months later, she joined my yoga mentorship program, mindset and stuff. She left, she came back, she left, she came back. She finally came back April of 2020, which was, I guess that's about 2 years ago. And then, so we've been together sexually, you could say, or intimately is maybe a better word, for about a year and a half or something like that. All right. So that's the relationship. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So does anybody have any questions or comments for Mr. Corleone, speed dating champion, about his game, how he won, what he has seen or witnessed? You can even go tangent off of that, because he moved here from Texas, and somehow I was going to say Dallas, Texas, and it was going to come out as Kansas. I don't know how that linguistically happened, but he's from Dallas, Texas, and he lives here in base 2 with 4 other monks, and he's doing it. He's here. He's making himself not irreplaceable yet or invaluable yet, but he's making himself a demonstration of the teachings, and he's making himself a known player, and he's definitely stepping up to the next level. Like the next level above this is going to be like a coach, I think. Like you're definitely at that level. When Fernando and Sultan moved in here, or when we all moved together, I mean, it's hard to say about game. I mean, you're advanced, man. You're really moving up, and you're young, and you stick with this. I mean, Jesus, what are you, 25?
23.
23. That's just ridiculous. Gosh darn dang ridiculous. Jaime, I always call him Jamie. Jaime's shaking his head like, this is ridiculous. This is nonsense. I can almost see him going, this is bullshit. When I was 23, when I was 23, I was super high on bad drugs and not doing well in life. Although, I had a potential. So that's great, man. Man, by 30, I mean, you're going to be world class. Probably before then. Okay, anybody? We got Antonio, we got Eduardo, Octavio, lots of O's in here. Or Shamir, do you have any more to go on that? Any comments on that? Speed dating champion. So you ran some game. You jumped off the question, so you weren't on the official question. So if you guys find yourself in a speed dating competition, don't be shy about not talking about the questions. You don't have to do the questions and pretending I'm so drunk right now, but you're not drunk. And preparing for it and going out, that's so interesting. So how regularly would you go out to practice game?
Man, every day at the petition stand, I was gaming.
Right? There's a fact. That's beneficial. Super.
Like that talkative state that it puts you in is, I can't really think of many other jobs that would do that, which is why I'm a little upset that the season's ending. I got to find other ways to tap into that state. But when you can go from that and then go into a shopping mall, your vibe is different. You want to speak to everybody. So that's really what I was doing. Gaming at the petition stand. I started to develop my own routines here and there, and I started working certain things out of them. So I found my creativity in the mystery method, right?
How so? What does that mean?
As in having an understanding of DHVs and being able to create my own little stories. You could call them DHV stories or gambits or what have you, but that's really the thing that I guess you could say keeps driving me to move forward. Is winning a competition is cool, it's like a nice little stripe on my white belt, but just seeing that I'm implementing routines and techniques and getting better at techniques, it's the same say when I'm doing Muay Thai, seeing that my knee has gotten better, or my hip extension is better. That's the thing that makes me want to keep going. So still, at the end of the competition, even after I won, it was still I could have done that better. I could have done this better. Yeah. And I see that that's consistently just what it's going to be. And whatever evolution comes along with that, that's what I'm ready for. But it's just me trying to tighten up my game over and over again.
Tighten your game. What would that mean to you? What does that mean?
Remove all demonstrations of low value, whether that's in my tonality, in my facial expressions, my body language, in the words themselves that I'm using. Just refining it to making sure to where everything that I say is a DHV, you know. Even right now, I'm noticing like little subtle DLVs that I'd want to work out eventually in my communication. And I think that that's the process that we're
I tell you what, man, it's just a trip what just happened. It's a little bit opposite of what you were just saying, because I just bought these handcuffs, these like sex toy handcuffs, and she puts them on. And I swear to God, I read her lips. I swear to God, I thought you said, I love him. You're right. I know that's what you said. I thought she was talking about you because you said something that I say all the time about removing DLVs from your speech. And she loves that when I say that. And you said that, and I look at her and she goes, I love him. But she's talking about the fucking handcuffs. And I was like, what? And she was like, I love them. And I was like, I'm glad I asked. So subtle communication. I don't know. And then I turned back. Yeah. So let's not do this while I'm doing this. All right. So I'm sorry, Shamir, you were saying?
No, it's okay. I mean, just me tightening my game would be, me removing whatever DLVs that
True.
I'm aware of, you know, and I'm noticing that I'm becoming more and more aware of things that I just wasn't aware of before.
Yeah, and observing the girls, you know, when they lose attraction.
Exactly.
But then having multiple women, because one girl, she just has some weird fucked up preference that you wouldn't know if you weren't talking to other girls.
Yep, totally. I mean, yeah, overcoming that initial resistance to rejection is big. Petitioning helps with that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. It's like an internal shift that you have to make. For me, it's still every day that I have to make this shift.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure once you get to a certain level that you just kind of operate in that state of like, you can push through that initial resistance. Just it's almost as if it's not there. But yeah, I think I saw a question from Marin about the girl that won and why.
Yeah, this is a very interesting topic. You know, when I've explained this to different people, I explained it to Kat. And why do you think that girl won? She was the least attractive physically. I don't know about that, but she definitely wasn't the most attractive physically. We got Mr. Guerrero, one of the sponsors of the party. She seemed the most genuine in her communication. I agree. She was the only bitch that I thought when I was talking to her that she was not playing me. The other girls just seemed so fucking fake. And I wasn't being fake. I was being as genuine as I am now. Like, this is what I was. It's almost the same energy, similar. A little bit more playful, kind of drop the tonality a little bit when I'm next to him, but it's just calibrated. I wasn't trying to do anything to him. And so her laugh seemed most sincere. And the girl, you know, it's interesting, the girl that almost won, that she was like almost tied with or whatever, that everybody also thought, I mean, there were two girls. There was one that was the British chick, and I still never interacted with her. Like I've passed like one or two sentences back and forth with her. I guess she's charming. I don't know. And then the girl that was next to the girl that won, that I mean, she was pretty. She was one of the prettier ones. So
I voted for her.
I think a lot of guys voted for. Why did you vote for her? I'm curious. And don't say her looks, or do say her looks.
Man, going into that party, that was the girl. I knew she'd be there, and I knew I wanted to run really tight game on her. Like, I didn't want to.
Why'd you vote for her? Okay, so there's not a real reason why you voted for her, is there? It's just you were most attracted to her?
Sure, I was most attracted to her physically. The conversation that I was having, I felt like I got her to open up on a deeper level compared to the other girls.
Okay.
But again, maybe that's just because I had the longest interaction with her, because I was talking to her prior to the event as well.
Maybe.
I did feel more of a connection with her.
There you go.
Versus any of the other girls.
There you go.
I mean, that British chick, I mean, I've had so many interactions with her. There's a connection there, but when it comes to creating new connections,
yeah, why didn't you vote for your British chick?
I don't know. I'm kind of tired of her.
So yeah, I kind of feel that way about all of the chicks, because they all work at the strip club, the ones that I interact with, except one new one, but she was obviously a fucking player, a girl player or whatever. and it's just like dull. You can't get through like a certain level. You get them to laugh. I thought one girl was like into it, but man, she's so like, she's just been disproven time and time again. Like these girls are very good at making you think that they like you. Very good. They'll give you their number. They'll give you their Instagram. They'll make you think. They'll even go back and forth a little bit. And, that's good. It's like, I don't know. It's like a workout or something. So the one that I voted for, which is the one that won, is, in my opinion, who else do we have that was at the party? Jaime was at the party, right? No, not this last one. Let's see, who else was there? Arslan, no. Oh, so that's it. It's just Marin, myself. Oracle was there. So I don't know if Oracle wants to weigh in on it. Mr. Guerrero weighed in on it. Shamir voted for the other girl. So my reason for voting for that one girl is, and even in observing her, all the girls have this bubbly laugh. All the girls know how to make you think that they like you. But hers was just like, the conversation, it just seemed less pre-rehearsed. It's almost like if you're running game on someone, and sometimes it sounds, especially if you know the game, if I know the routine is kissing, cheating, and I hear Shamir say kissing, cheating, I'm going to have a real high standard or criteria of listening for if it sounds pre-rehearsed or not. Does it sound natural or not? I interacted with 5 girls, 4 of them sounded pre-rehearsed. That one sounded like I'm interacting with you. So that's why I voted for it. I play by the rules, I guess, a little bit. The criteria was, who do you want, or who would you want at an after party at a celebrity's place? And I said, when I told my girl, I was like, I voted for her because she seemed like the least likely to leave when the celebrity walks in. When the celebrity walks in, all 4 other girls, I think, would just walk away from me and go towards the celebrity. Find a reason to do that. I felt like the girl I voted for, she's most likely not to. And my girl says, well, is it because she's the least attractive? Maybe she just doesn't think that the celebrity would be interested in her. And it's like, that's actually semi-legit. Yeah, maybe. But I wasn't thinking like that when I thought it. I thought that this girl, I felt like I had more of a lasso on her than the other girls. Although the other girls were touching and laughing and whatever. The girl that almost won, she has this habit of just pushing her tit into you. Makes you think that she likes you. Nah, she's just like got no boundaries. So that's my answer. Probably sound bitter towards these bitches, I tell you. Whatever. They don't deserve any better until they deserve it. As far as I'm concerned. The girl that almost won, the previous speed dating event, did not have a boyfriend. Or no, two speed dating events prior, when her shoe broke. She had a broken shoe. That was her first one. She didn't have a boyfriend. So sometime in the 2 months since then, even though I've introduced her to like 15 or 20 stellar guys, she got some chump ass, fake ass boyfriend who's okay with her going to a speed dating competition and hoeing herself around with her titties falling out. She chose, what a dumb bitch for choosing some other guy than the fucking 8 or 9 IMC guys that live in San Jose. Stupid ass. And she, of course, wasn't being forthright about that when I was talking to her. Of course, this is the kind of language that doesn't win you a speed dating competition when you say things like forthright. So it wasn't being fucking forthright about it, especially to these stripper hoes. Like, they're like, huh? Fork tight? What? So I assumed. I was like, so what's your boyfriend think about you being in a speed dating competition? I thought she still didn't have a boyfriend. I thought she was going to say, oh, I don't have a boyfriend. I literally expected that coming out of her mouth. She paused for a second and then said, I forget. Maybe that might not have been my exact question because I would remember the answer. She said something and it basically led to, she doesn't have enough excitement in her life. Oh, that's what it was. Somehow I was asking her whatever, and she lets it be known that she doesn't have enough excitement in her life. That's why, oh, she's telling me like she wanted to go skydiving or something. I don't know where all these statements come from. If I traced them all back, I could figure out the conversation. But she says skydiving. I say why. She says not enough excitement in her life. I say, does your boyfriend know you don't have enough excitement in your life? And she pauses and then says, whatever she says. We start talking about her boyfriend basically for like 2 or 3 sentences, and then I change the subject. I think I said something like, I could tell because that's why you didn't get up when I got up, because I stood up and to see if she would comply, because I was tired of sitting. She didn't comply. Then she partially complied standing up, and I said, well, now come over here. And she's like, no. And then she sat back down. And I was like, whatever, I'm going to be over here doing my hip rotations. I'll come sit down when I want to sit down. And I was like, you didn't comply. Like, what did I say? This is a little bit later. So after we dropped the boyfriend, I was like, you didn't, something like you didn't comply. Like, I was like, I couldn't imagine you being like, no, I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was basically like, it's not girlfriend quality that you didn't listen and follow directions well. That was basically the essence of what I was saying. And she was like, well, I have a boyfriend. And I was like, not while you're here. You're on a date with me for 5 minutes. And I think that might, if you ever see the video, Fernando posted a video of her like looking at me and then she turns her face forward, like she does like this thing. That was right about that time. That was something like, I think that might've been what I said, that she did that or something like that. She, like her body reacted, as Shamir would say, with like there was an attraction in her, like she liked it. But then there was also a cultural or conscious resistance to it. I have a man, I have a boyfriend. Like, no, I'm not going to listen to you like I'm your girlfriend. Well, you are while you're here, a speed dating competition. What the fuck else are we doing here?
I got a little bit of that from her.
Got a little bit of what?
A little bit of that, like what you're describing, that little resistance, because in her mind she has a boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, she's being, she's playing us, So I think that's why of the 5 girls, I voted not for the other 4, because I could tell they were playing me. I was playing them too. We were playing each other. And I would think that if we interact for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, if I could tolerate the girl for that long, that I think she would eventually start to like me, but probably not. I don't know. My ego would probably be crushed. I think that she's going to like me. And it turns out that's what it was going to the strip club for like 6 months or 8 months or whatever. Every week you think the stripper likes you. Then she doesn't reply to your message, or she brushes you off like 6 times in a row. She keeps watching your stories. You're sure that she likes you. You're certain of it, man. You go and you figure out, how am I going to tip just right so that she likes me? I'm going to tip her $100 bill. No, I'm going to throw 21s on stage right when nobody else is there. No, what am I going to do? I'm not going to tip her at all. I'm going to let her watch me tip other girls. I'm going to, like, you start working, and it's like, man, that's not how you get her to like you. The tip. It's just to get her attention. And so I'm just about fed up with all those girls. So the one, I don't know, she was probably playing me, but that's how I felt like, not, and just so you know, so she won. That's the girl, whatever it was at the beginning. What was the name I said? It's the truth. I forget her fucking. Nice for what? That's the winner. That was her. So the other bitches don't come onto my lives. I don't see Serena. I don't see fucking any of I don't even know their names anymore. Valentina. None of them go on my lives. It's for what was it? Nice for what? Jesus. So whatever, that might be her playing me. That might, what? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just her scoping it out. She's busy. Who knows? I don't care. But I see her name. She lets her name be known. So that's +1 point in this scale of 1,000 points. That's +1 point. You joined my Instagram Live. Good for you. So that's what I think about it. Marin, why do you think she won? IMC dating coach, IMC pickup coach. Maybe not be able to unmute, so you could type it out. Obviously, I didn't talk to her. Okay, well, all right. So, was curious why. I mean, those are my opinions of it. And I would imagine that that's what the guys who did vote for, again, it was a similar thing where like 2 or 3 girls tied. The other girls who got 1 vote had to be thrown out. And then it's just everybody votes for those 3 girls. And so you may be voting for someone that you didn't interact with. And so there's a lot of, it's not like a certain thing. I would say the 2 or 3 guys that voted for her originally, it was probably because they felt similar. Like she was more genuine. The other girls were like, they were pretty, but it's not like the girl wasn't pretty. She has some odd things about her, but she also has like huge bubble ass and like wore makeup nice, and she talks nice. She makes you feel like a man. So it's like, What more do I really need? Like, I fucking want to feel like a man as opposed to walk in with a super hottie that's going to walk away from me. Fuck that. All right. Patrick Flynn. This is my old wrestling teammate from OU on my Instagram Live. All right. Does anybody have anything for Shamir or myself before we wrap it up? You guys arrived. We got a camp coming up. Very exciting. I've been debating adding a special. I'm going to throw in a bunch of bonuses for the sponsors. I'm going to dig through some things. I'm going to try to come up with like some old videos or recordings, audio. I have some infield of AZD from a long time ago, just infield audios. And I was even thinking about my book of notes, the very coveted and very secret book of notes from Diamond Mind. 230 pages of notes from many, many Diamond Mind lectures. I don't know how valuable it is for you guys though, because it's my note. It's not easy. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I value that like fucking $1,000 gift. It's fucking huge because you can't even get those lectures anymore. Like the Diamond Mind program is like they handpicked like 30 or 40 lectures to put together. Like my notes are for hundreds. All right. It's either that or I would throw in the mentorship book of notes, which is another 230 page PDF of all of his mentorship lectures that he was giving the girls and myself. I was on and a few other guys. Good stuff. Okay, so no questions or comments. We got 16 people live. Bunch of people. Guys should come to this camp. We have in person. You can come for $9.90 or $10.97 now is the increased rate. So $10.97, you come in person. That's the 3 weeks of training, which the first lecture alone was super powerful. I was telling you about it. It was like some casual auditing or so. I was going through some intense mood swing and AZD was like demonstrating. He was talking to me. I knew what was going on. It was very interesting being the recipient of it because I knew what he was doing. It almost pissed me off at some point because like he was describing like coming uptone and I came uptone on something and he looked around the room like, see, and I was like, fuck that. Now I want to drop tone now that you just used me as like a guinea pig for that. But of course I didn't because I wanted to improve. So, you know, that's the first lecture. So you get to see that kind of casual auditing and then he explains it. So it's very nice. And then you come in person for the main event. There's going to be like 6 or 7 private moments. So that's going to be very powerful. Shamir's doing a private moment and he got it as a gift for the winning the speed dating competition. He got the $2,000 sponsorship training and he got the private moment. So it's $3,000. He got a $3,000 gift for winning, but he's also invested $30K. He's invested $30K in the last 2 years. So, you know, that's pretty high up there, you know. So he'll be one of the private moments. I'll be one of the private moments. The Cervantes brothers both will be a private moment. And I think Jaime's doing a private moment. Octavio's doing a private moment. So those will be great. Those are 2 new private moments. That'll be really great. Oh, Adrian Garcia is doing a private moment. That's going to be hella. So we got like 7 or 8 guys. We go live to the strip club on Friday night. So everybody who's coming gets to take advantage of the fact that we've gamed this club so much. And the private parties that we throw, so we've hosted like 7 or 8 private parties total, are hosted by the woman who owns the strip club. She owns the nightclub also. She's part owner of the strip club. So we're in with the owner. So that means when you go to this strip club with us, a lot of fine bitches, their boss is our friend. So you're way safe. Plus you're rolling with a pack of like 20 guys. So you're like, nobody's going to take advantage of you. You're not going to get ripped off by these girls. They're not going to get you drunk. They're not going to roofie you. One of the girls there does that shit. Roofies clients and takes advantage of them. But she's the crazy psycho bitch that when I first moved here, I had never seen her that way. When I befriended her on Instagram like 2 years before I moved here on one of my visits to San Jose, any guys that have been to the strip club know who I'm talking about. That psycho crazy bitch that keeps calling us like a Illuminati blood sacrificing people. I mean, she's tormented. And the worst part is she's one of the prettiest girls there. And she's like clean, not tattooed or whatever, like whatever that means. I mean, she's probably a toxic waste dump. But one of our first times, if not our first time going to the strip club right after COVID, when it opened up, she acted weird. There was a weirdness. And I was like, and I said something like, you know, do you actually want to be friends in real life or just like Instagram friends? Because I don't need any more Instagram friends. And she was like, why are you being weird? And then she raised her voice and I was like, get out of here. And that was my first time. I was real proud of myself. It was the first time I'd ever dismissed a girl like that. I was like, get the fuck out of here. No, just leave then. Get out of here. She was like kneeled down or sitting in the chair next to me or something. So she got up and left. So ever since then, she'd been kind of unfriendly to us. But yeah, I think that's the girl that does it. But whatever. So that won't happen. So it's a real great opportunity. And then Saturday night, it depends on if we finish our private moments in time. It may be that AZD will schedule some of the private moments for the morning class. Also, Shamir's not doing his private moment during the camp. He's actually doing it next Tuesday. So there may be some space so that Saturday night, a bunch of us, AZD won't go, most likely, unless we talk him into it. But then we'd go out to eat. So Friday night, we go to strip club. Saturday night, we go out to eat. Not necessarily the best opportunity to game, unless we want to stick around and go and game. And it's a unique environment. You know, San Jose is colloquially called Man Jose. It's not necessarily the best place to game. There are some pretty girls, but those restaurant vibes with your homies, with your brothers is, it's something that relaxes you as a man. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of great conversation. Shamir has received $30,000 of training from AZD. He's a repository of great information. Sultan, Fernando, repository of some powerful information that you might not realize until it's contextual, until you're in the context and you see them move and you see them talk and you're like, that's where that work, they've put in the elbow grease to you know, achieve something that's not natural to a normal human male nervous system. They don't interact that way. They've transcended that. But you would miss it if you saw them out of context, because maybe they're not superhuman on other things, they're superhuman on that thing. Andrew Dawson, if you can game here, you can game anywhere. Who is Andrew Dawson? Andrew Dawson. Oh, that motherfucker is, I don't know if currently, but he was a male stripper. I remember Andrew. Andrew was one of the guys, when I came to San Jose, I used to visit San Jose a bunch. He recognized me from AZD's Instagram, from being shared. He was like, are you Yogi Chris? Are you Yoga Bliss Chris? And I think Fernando was around me and I was like, felt like such a big shock. So I was like, somebody recognized me. It was so funny. On that same trip, a girl recognized me in front of Fernando. Are you Yoga Bliss Chris? It's like, what the hell? I felt like I was becoming somebody. Yeah. So, you know, that was, you know, super flattering, really. And so there's Andrew Dawson. Yeah, if you can game here, you can game anywhere, you know. So it'll be very interesting if we go to Los Angeles, if the crew goes to LA and Vegas and those strip clubs. And I mean, it's not the ideal place to game. It's an ideal place to work out, really, to work out the game. I mean, strippers, man, there's just a part of me that just despises them. I just despise them. And then there's a part of me that is seduced by that siren quality of being so sexual and so flirtatious and so sensual and telling you what you need to hear. And you almost want to just look past her you know, out ethics or whatever. And, you know, you just get hypnotized by the loud music and the colors and whatever. And she starts talking to you and you just start liking her. But she is just trash. She's just a piece of toilet paper with a pretty face. She's like really pretty toilet paper. It's only slightly used on the other side, so you can't tell. It's gross. Okay, anybody got anything? I just keep talking, man. Just raise your hand, ask Shamir something. I'm about to do my yoga class for myself, my personal yoga class. Nothing? Jesus, I kept your attention. Shamir kept your attention. 15 guys for, or one girl and 14 guys for like an hour. All right, so I'll wrap it up just talking about tonight's plan. So tonight we'll have a gathering here at 7 p.m. To sign up for that, go to imcbase1.com or message me personally. If you go through IMC Base 1, you just pay in full. If you message me, then, you know, I guess we'll talk about it, but that'll take longer. You'll miss the lectures. So you get all those recordings so you catch up. The first one is extremely powerful. Second one, very powerful. We're on the 5th one now. There'll be probably about 15 or 20 of these for the month. And And then there's a main event, which will have a lot of private moments. As you watch the private moment online or in person, you must pay attention. You must sit there like you were watching a movie with popcorn, almost observing. And so that you can empathize, you can feel. Eduardo Polito probably knows so much about this. I'd be very interested to see his take and his feedback on it because he's a professional actor, super professional fucking actor. So when he sees our private moments, it's different. We're not actors. We're not theater people. We're not creatives like that. We are creative. We're being trained by a very creative man. But there's something else. We're beasts. We're monks. So it's the private moment of a beast monk. And Eduardo, do you have anything you want to throw in? You picked up your phone. I don't know if you want to say something.
Yeah, I've only seen like probably I think part of Matthews, and then the other night I seen Pyros. So I was like, and that's really new to me. But one thing that I did pick up, and this is something that I've been having to perfect or master, is being able to tap into your raw emotions, and that's basically the art that I want to project on cameras. You know, when you guys see a movie, and there's a scene that just touches you, that makes you want to break down and cry because you feel that. That's what I want to do, you know. And yeah, a lot of dudes like it's hard to connect to your emotions and know how to use them. Like sometimes I notice that my emotions get the best of me. Like I'm already naturally a dramatic person. That's why I'm so natural when it comes to acting, and I feel like we all are a piece of art in motion.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it.
So I just seen Pyro. I was like, whoa, it's like real powerful. Like just to see like it, and it's the struggle, man. It's life. Life will fucking test us, bro. Fuck, man.
I'd be very interested in how all of the private moments, because you're going to see like 6 to 8 private moments. Be very interested in your feedback and how it changes your acting game up, and maybe one day get you doing a private moment. So that's super interesting. But Shamir actually reached out to me to help him with some relaxation. So if you guys are doing private moments and you want help with your relaxation, I've been thinking about it, and so I'll talk with Shamir about it. I'm thinking about 30 minutes of just conversation. I could show you so much about your body that will help you relax when you see these parts of your body. Kat knows what I'm talking about. You would pick up on a lot of those things if you did my yoga classes, but that would take a long time. And you'd also have to there's a lot of that stretching and shit in that, not just relaxation. But there's more, because I don't just teach relaxation in yoga like that. So that's available. I don't know what I would charge. The donation, it's a donation, and half of it I'll give to AZD because whatever. That's just what I should do. So Andrew Dawson, books to read for Philosophy Man. I don't know where you're at on the beasting process. You got to be on the beasting process. So I recommend The Art of Living by Epictetus. That's like easy and #1 go-to, Art of Living. I would also recommend, it's a difficult read. Man, let's just go with The Art of Living. Do The Art of Living, anything L. Ron Hubbard. That's what I recommend. Okay, Shamir, any closing words from you, brother?
Yeah, I feel the need to say this for some reason. Everybody should brush up on their mystery method. As I look around, I'm almost positive that there's probably somebody here who hasn't read that book. How dare you even show up? Honestly, like what? Yeah, brush up on that shit. It's going to give you a structure, some certainty when you're in conversation. You'll be able to measure where you are differently. I know if you're in my Telegram chat, I'll post a link to some old school mystery videos that you won't find anywhere.
Oh man, I want to go.
Yeah, I'll send them to you directly also.
Nice, that's inside treatment.
Yeah, for sure.
And TK is not here. Shout out TK. He posts these episodes, so I'll try to remind him to embed that Telegram link in our description for this episode. So as people watch recordings, they can go there too. Or actually, how I do it is I don't send them to my Telegram group. I send them to my personal Telegram just to message me, because I don't want just randoms joining my group. So maybe we'll do it that way. Thank you so much for your time. This was a long episode. I appreciate everybody, giving your time, lending your attention. Leave us a review. If TK was here, if you're in the Enlightened Masculinity Telegram group, find where you go to Spotify or Apple, leave a review. And I'll see you Sunday. It'll either be a solo episode or I'm looking at having Lone Wolf and possibly Chris Lopez. Both of these guys are sponsors this month, 2K sponsors, and it's their first time ever to camp. And they're both big players in IMC Nation. It's just their first time coming to San Jose. They're perhaps the biggest players who haven't been to San Jose. So we'll be talking to them on Sunday, or if they can't make it, then solo episode. You can look forward to that. Thank you, Shamir, and everybody. Namaste.